What's up, motorists, and welcome back to another episode of mReview. Today we are looking at one of the latest additions to the BYD family here in Singapore. This is the BYD ATTO 2, the new baby of the BYD family. So let's see how it stacks up. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of all our future uploads. So the ATTO 2, what is it? Well, as the name suggests, the ATTO 2 is the smaller sibling to the existing ATTO 3. But this has the kind of new generation of BYD design. So it's the sleeker, smaller sibling to the ATTO 3. Now up at the front, you get your dragon face design, similar to what you get on the ATTO 3. And of course, that means your LED headlights and LED daytime running lights as well, which on this car give it a pretty distinctive look. Now on this car, you don't actually get a frunk under the bonnet, which I think is a bit of a miss because there is actually quite a bit of space under here and they probably could have put a frunk in there if they wanted to. Now here along the side, you can see this is a compact SUV. And for that size, you do get quite a bit of room on the inside, but we'll get into that a little later on. For starters, here on the outside, we have 17-inch rims offered as standard. And we also have these plastic wheel guard fender things with this cute little attachment here that gives it a bit of a rugged off-road look. Now you also get some additions to that on here that are painted the same as the body color, which just give it a bit of a highlight feature. Now you do also get keyless entry and exit, so it's easy to get in and out of your ATTO 2. Now you can also see back here, there's this kind of design element where it swoops down to give it, well, a bit more of an interesting body line and an interesting shape here with the body colored panels, and I think this actually looks like a pretty good looking car. So here at the back, there are a couple of interesting features. The first thing I want to point out is this kind of rooftop spoiler feature that houses the third brake light, which I think is a neat little touch, and it gives it a bit more of a continuation to the body line. Now, then you also have these LED rear tail lights. These are modeled after the Mobius strip. Now this is from BYD themselves, this is what they say. This is modeled after the Mobius strip. If you don't know what that is, that's the kind of infinite paradox symbol thingy. And what that's supposed to symbolize is endless wealth for the owner. So perhaps I shall get myself one of these and then I can have endless wealth, because at the moment these pockets are empty. Anyway, moving on to my day job. We also have, of course, the boot. Electrically operated, it whirs open by itself to reveal 380 litres of boot space, which is enough for me to climb in. There is a little cargo cover that you can take off or leave on should you wish, and then you can just climb in, plenty of space to put your stuff, and should you need to, you can also of course lower down the rear seats to get even more cargo space into the rest of the car. So here we are now in the back seat of the ATTO 2, and this is a pretty decent place to be. For a compact SUV, there's quite a bit of space, as I mentioned earlier. So these seats are set in roughly where I would sit, and I'm 1.8 meters tall. So even sitting here in the back, I still have some knee room. I've got plenty of headroom. That's not an issue at all with the high ceilings in this car. And I've got a fully flat floor, so getting in and out is really easy, and I can sit in the middle and not have to straddle any hump. Now, here in the middle, I also have a single air vent, Type A USB port, Type C USB port, and of course, on these vegan leather seats, these are synthetic leather seats, I also have ISOFIX anchor points on both sides, so I can put a child seat back here. And of course, I have my center armrest with two cup holders. So the front seats of the ATTO 2, now this takes the kind of new generation of design that we saw on the Seal 6, which means the gear lever is no longer down here, it's here on the side stalk, like the Mercedes style. The steering wheel is the same as what you get on the Seal 6 as well, so we've got the multi-spokes with all your physical buttons for your multi-functions on your steering wheel. Now there's no button here to rotate the screen, in fact that is here in the center display. So you can do that. But one thing I've come to notice is the screen, when rotated, actually messes with the polarization on my sunglasses, so I can't actually see it. So I'll keep it in landscape form. Now, apart from the large central infotainment screen, which of course can access everything from your wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto to all of your other multimedia features, your car settings and whatnot, you also have your digital gauge cluster that you can toggle through using the buttons on the steering wheel, which makes it very easy to read. And then here in the middle, we've got air vents for the 2-zone climate control. We've got a ventilated wireless charging pad, 50 watts, so you'll charge your phone pretty quick. We have your drive modes, some other media switches, cup holders, center cubby storage under your armrest, and of course, in today's heat, the most important feature on these electric seats, ventilation. My butt is cool and I am comfortable. So all that's left to do now in this car is to see how she drives. So this is the ATTO-2, the new baby of the BYD range. Now, not so much in terms of actual size, because size-wise, the smallest car in BYD's lineup still goes to the Dolphin. But in terms of affordability, this is actually the most affordable BYD you can get now in Singapore. So what do you get for your money? Well, you get, of course, a Cat A COE friendly car. So this has 100 kilowatts, about 130 horsepower, but it has 290 Newton meters of torque, which means this car can do 0 to 100 in 9 seconds, which is about a second quicker than most of the other kind of Cat A COE Singapore special cars. Now this has enough torque to really chirp the wheels off the line, or if you get on the accelerator a bit too hard coming out of a corner, which is a nice fun touch. But what about in terms of range and economy? Very important points in an electric car. Well, the ATTO-2 has a 51.13 kilowatt hour battery. Now, BYD's official consumption figure is 17 kilowatt hours per 100 km. And that equates to about 345 km on the WLTP cycle for your range on a full charge. But in my testing, I have managed to get my average down as low as 12.3 kilowatt hours per 100 km, which is significantly better than the official claim. Now, it has averaged out over the course of my drive to around 13.5, 14 kilowatt hours per 100 km, but that is still quite a bit better than the claimed 17 figure that BYD comes up with. Drive-wise, how is it? Well, it's actually pretty good. Now, you do get quite a bit of road noise into the car, but I think that's fairly normal. These windows are not double glazed ones, and there is a little bit of wind noise once you get above about 90-95 kilometers an hour. Now, I remember when this car first launched, I thought to myself, why? That was the first thing I thought of, because I couldn't really understand at the time why BYD would want to bring in another car that essentially cannibalizes on its other products that are already for sale, because the ATTO-2 doesn't really sit in a completely different market segment or price point or positioning than its other cars. But I've come to realize their mindset and their strategy, and essentially it is when somebody wants to buy a car, no matter what type of car they want to buy, no matter what body style, no matter what price point, no matter what power output, BYD only wants you to have one answer in your mind. And obviously, the answer that they want you to arrive at is buy a BYD. Now, the ATTO-2 is actually the most affordable BYD you can get in Singapore today, and I think you do get quite a bit of car for your money. Of course, you get all of the usual tech gizmos and features, you get all of the safety systems as well, you get a decent drive with decent economy and decent range. And like I mentioned earlier, BYD loves to give you options, and I think by bringing in the ATTO-2 here and at this price point, BYD has just given you quite a compelling one. As always, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.